Your book offers a variety of different methods to try out while taking notes from a book or during a lecture. During this video, we'll talk about one method called the Cornell Note-Taking method. The Cornell Note-Taking system was created by Dr. Walter Pock at Cornell University in 1949. Since then, many colleges and universities have adopted this system. Also, some bookstores have notebooks with pages that are already set up in the Cornell Note-Taking method style. The Cornell method consists of splitting up each page into two columns, the notes column and the recall column. The notes column is where you'll be taking notes normally. This is where you'll write down information from the lecture or from your book. The recall column is where you'll write down keywords or concepts that relate to the notes that are in your normal notes column. The recall column's information will help you flag information that you'll have to go back to review later. At the bottom of each page, you'll also be adding a summary of your notes. This is even more important for lecture notes because it forces you to put the lecture that you just attended into your own words. You may have to do this after the class if you don't have enough time to do it after writing your notes. Let's take a look at some Cornell notes.
So to start our Cornell note page, we will split the page into two columns. The column on the left side, the recall column, should be about 2.5 inches wide, leaving about 2/3 of the page or more for the record column. Take your notes in the record column for the lecture or from the textbook. Be sure to rephrase the information into your own words. Skip a line between ideas and a few lines between completely new topics, like the start of a section of the text denoted by a subheading. Be sure to use abbreviations and symbols in order to keep up with the information. This is especially useful during lecture notes. Be sure to review the information after class and try to clarify any information that may be ambiguous. The quicker you review the information, the better, because after the class, the information is still fresh in your mind. In addition, immediately after class is when you should write the summary notes on the bottom portion of the pages.
When taking Cornell notes from text instead of the lecture, there are a few things that you need to remember. First, remember to paraphrase and not to copy specific details from the book during the recording step.
For the recall column, if you've effectively annotated your book, the recall column may end up being a more organized list of what you've annotated in your book.
Using the Cornell note-taking system will leave you with an organized study guide from both the text and the lecture. It's important to make sure you use the study guide that you just created and frequently reflect on and review the information before a test. You may also want to incorporate another method that you've learned while using the Cornell note-taking method, SQ4R. Refer back to your book or the video on SQ4R to learn more about this method. To combine the Cornell note-taking system with SQ4R, we will be adding two R's, reduce and reflect.
After you've surveyed, questioned, read, and recorded the information from the textbook in the record column, this is where you'll input the reduce step. The reduce step is where you fill in keywords and concepts in the recall column. Next, you'll continue to do the recite step, and after that will come the added reflect step. For this step, it will reflect on the information you are learning. To maximize this step's effectiveness, try to associate the new information with information that is already familiar to you or what you already know about the topic. And finally, after the reflect step, you can move to the review step in SQ4R.
Check out the example pages of the Cornell note-taking method in your book, as well as guidelines for using the Cornell method during lecture in the Taking Lecture Notes and Taking Notes from the Text modules.